As well as being the volunteer coordinator, I also have a client caseload. Here at the center, there is rarely a dull moment. And really my experiences run the gamut. There are themes, I suppose, but every experience is very unique with every client. Specifically, I have seen a real increase in individuals experiencing homelessness, but also most definitely, I've seen an increase in those experiencing domestic violence and in those really suffering with mental illness. One example I can think of specifically is a young lady who, right at the beginning of COVID, contacted the center because she had moved to Ontario because she wanted to work the home show there. Right after she arrived, the home show was canceled due to COVID. She realized that she had to come back right away and she had nowhere to stay here in Calgary. She'd given up her accommodations. All of her plans just instantly fell apart and there was a real moment of panic and a real feeling of crisis in her life. Obviously, due to COVID-19, we were also experiencing a shortage of accessible housing. So she called the center. What are we going to do? What am I going to do? Thankfully, one of the shelters had access to some extra government funding. So they were able to get her into a shelter and then help support her and get her into her own place. Another example, we had a young lady call the center fairly early in the morning. She's very early on in her pregnancy, but was being pressured by her partner to have an abortion, and her partner became abusive because she was refusing to have an abortion. She grabbed a few belongings that she could, grabbed a taxi and came into the center. And although we were closed at the time, we got to work trying to find her a place to go. Because of COVID-19 and because of domestic violence increasing, because people have lost their jobs and now they're taking it out on the people that they're living with and quarantining with, it became clear that there were no beds. There were no shelter beds for me to send her to. With some support from Alberta Works, we were able to find a space at Rocky Mountain House, which is 2.5 hours away from Calgary, and able to send her in a taxi to a safe place, specifically for those experiencing domestic violence as well, for her to stay in a shelter for a couple of days. I hope first and foremost that when clients come into the center, they're feeling valued, they're feeling safe, and they're feeling like when they come here, they just instantly know that there is hope, that we love them, we care for them, and also that there's a way forward. You've never hit a wall entirely and there's nowhere else to go. There's always, always, always a way through, and that they're not going to have to walk it alone. They're going to have somebody beside them saying, you can do this, I'm here with you, and it'll get better and we'll get there together.